Welcome back. I am working on the Steiner 230 again today. In the last video, I fixed that axle. Today, I'm gonna put that axle back in, get everything hooked up, and make sure everything works. Hopefully, it's sealed tight. I'm pretty confident in the weld I had. I know it's strong enough. My only concern would be if there was enough contamination in the weld that there's gonna be some kind of a leak. I piled that weld on real thick. I don't think it's gonna come through. I painted everything, and as you can see here, this weld right in here, it used to be just like this. I filled it up to where it is straight across. I mean, it is filled in good. It's gonna be stronger than factory. Okay, so on this axle, you'll see this weld is filled in all the way across here. It used to be like this, and I filled that whole thing up. It's not gonna be in the way. We don't attach into here on the front. We attach on the sides here, and then on the back side, we attach right here. So that amount of weld being in there is not gonna affect anything. It's gonna be stronger than it ever was. Right. The crack came all the way around up to here. With that crack the way it is, I've been trying to guess what happened, but the crack being on the bottom side, it would make sense that it fell off of a trailer and this side got slammed up and that would crack around the bottom. I can't imagine a hit from the front is gonna make it crack so much just on the bottom side, because this is exactly how this thing sets in the tractor. The other thing I wanted to show you is this hole right here. I truly believe this is an off-the-shelf peerless transmission that Steiner was using, because the way they have the filler in here, it was just drilled and tapped into the casing, and that casing isn't real thick right there, so of course it broke out. I welded on a 1/4 inch thick piece of aluminum, and then I drilled and tapped that. So we'll have a lot more to grab a hold of. And the way I tapped it, and I did not get that on video, I was over at a friend's house when I was doing it, hoping he had a tap, and he didn't. What we did, we took a Dremel and we cut little slots into the end of this pipe, and that gave us essentially a tap of our own. And with the aluminum being soft, we were able to use cutting oil and then use this piece of pipe. And I've got slots cut all the way around there at the bottom. And if you look real close, you can also see I tapered the bottom a little bit so that it would get started. And we just drilled a hole and then took this and worked it down in. And it actually threads in beyond where those slots are, so I won't have any issues with leakage from those slots. It just was basically like a self-tapper screw as it went in. Let's get back to getting this thing in here. So I'm gonna move this transmission out of the way. I'm gonna lift up the tractor with the forklift, and then I'm gonna slide this in, and hopefully I can set it right down into place with it on that cart. Okay, so I'm gonna shove this underneath there and just slowly work it down. Being by myself, I'm gonna have to jump up and down quite a bit, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, what are we hitting here? Oh, in there. That stays back. Okay. think up top here, that's okay. Okay, so up top, we're hitting some of the pump is starting to touch it a little bit. I think we're okay. I'm gonna drop a little bit more. Okay, how are we doing here? Okay, let me see if I can get that. This gear right here has to come back and around and down into the hole. So, let me see if I can get that to... Did we drop into place? Boy, I can't see from this angle. Let's go with the other side. It does look like we are lining up where we need to be, but the axle does need to come back right there. This is supposed to be back against here. So I do need to bring the axle backwards. Okay. There. It's dropping. Okay. Oh, there it went. Okay. Now, wow. It looks like our holes actually are already lined up. So let's see if we can get a couple bolts in there. Wow. It's so close. But no cigar. See if one of the others lines up. I'm gonna have to come from the back side. Oh, wow. Wow. That's close. Let's take a look here. If you look right there, that hole seems so close. So close. Oh, there we go. There we go. We got it. I think I got it. Let me get a ratchet on there. I'm gonna get a ratchet. See if I can't get in there and get that thing. It's going. Yeah. Perfect. Oh yeah, and that let the next one line up. It pulled it into place. Okay. You stay up in there. You know what? I think I will just take that off, because my luck, if you saw the last video, that thing's probably gonna fall off and hit me in the head at some point. Okay. Let's see if we can get this front one in. Wow. It needs to, this piece needs to go up a little bit. I may be able to get a screwdriver in here and pry that up, or a pry bar. So if I go right in here, boy. I can't really get in there to pry at a good angle. What I'm gonna do is see if I can't get something started on the other side, and then we'll lift the machine and see if we can get that. Just a minute. That hub off pretty well. Don't need no head knockers. I'm having some issues with my camera. If any of you out there have advice, please tell me. Getting really frustrated. I got a brand new camera. I was recording everything with my phone before, and I got a GoPro Hero 13 Black. And after only 20 minutes of recording, my camera turned off and it says it was overheating. Plus, my battery was essentially dead. So I did a little research, and it's telling me I need to turn off stabilization, need to turn off GPS, need to turn off my Wi-Fi, and that should all tie together and help it use less processing power. I also turned it down to 1080p and 30 frames per second instead of 60. I'm hoping that'll work. Let me know if you have any advice on cameras. I'm new to this whole YouTube thing. If there's some other camera that would work better than a GoPro for me, please let me know. I'm not sure what to do. It's a little frustrating. It's a brand new camera. Today's the first day I'm filming with it, and I'm having these issues. Okay, so now back to the project. We are ready to go ahead and install this hitch. It's just 2 pins, one on either side. So that is this going through right there. Oh, that was simple. Doesn't always go that easy. There we go. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. Okay. By the way, if you have a Steiner or a ventrac, make sure you get underneath and grease up everything. These pivot points down here are often forgotten about, and because they're hard to get to. And then because of forgetting to grease that, they end up drying out and getting loose and sloppy. Okay. Wow. Yeah, that thing was pretty dry. Next step is getting these bolts right in here to hold the back end of the transmission up. So let's see here. I need to go up here. I'm gonna have to pry on that. If I can come in through here. Okay, let's see if we got this. Beautiful. And those are all 3/4. Okay. Now that we've got those in, the next step is going to be to get this pump into place, and I do have a ratchet strap holding the back end of it up. So I'm going to go on the top side, loosen that ratchet strap, and you should be able to see this dropping down into place. Okay, now we are ready for the spacers that tried to kill me last time. And so if you watched the last video, you'll remember a solid metal spacer that came to hit me. When I say solid steel, we're not talking just a small piece. We're talking this. If you look, that's solid steel. One little itty bitty hole through the middle. And I had it up higher than this, and this came down and hit me right in the forehead. So anyways, let's try to prevent that going in. Okay, so this needs to go on those splines right there, and of course it was tight coming off, and it looks like it's going to be tight going on. If I go there and hit there, hey. There. That should work. Now, let's see if we can do the same thing on the other side. Wow. I was able to get the other side slightly started. Now if I put that there and take a hammer and hit here, I might be able to drive it in. Let me grab another hammer. Okay. So, put that there and tap on here. Wow. That's not really working. Let me see if I don't have a metal block that fits a little tighter. This might be too thick. Might be too thick. There. Think that'll work. Okay, got it started. Now let's get the pry bar. Oh yeah. Okay, now I need to tighten these down and get those gripped on there. That looks like half inch. Okay, I don't want to go too tight, but do the same thing on the other side, and I think we're good to go. Now, I think we're good to tighten up the rest of the bolts right there, and then on the other side. Here you can see the weld, how it goes around here. This is all bridged in here. I can't imagine that's gonna leak. I guess we're gonna find out. Now, while we've got it up, I think we're done down here. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the wheels on so that when we set it down, we're ready to go. Oh, hey bud. This This is Steven, by the way. Steven, we think he might be a little bit dirter. He, half the time, sits around with his tongue half out. And, yeah, he's one of 5 cats we have. And he's a little bit dirter, we think. But anyways, that's Steven. Well, I thought I started my camera, but apparently I did not. The only thing we had to do up here was our shifter linkage right here. Very simple, and a hose right here. So that's taken care of. All right, so I am ready to put hydraulic fluid in this thing, and I had to go get more because I ran out. However, I decided this time we're going to try to make so that's not quite as hard to put it in, and I got myself a pump that goes on top of a 5-gallon bucket. Hopefully we can pump it in instead of gravity feeding it in. Maybe it'll go a little bit quicker. So hold on one second, I'll put that pump together and we'll try it out. Might give me a little bit of a kink there. Let me see if we can get oil pumping. This is a lot easier than gravity. Much, much easier. Next step is, let's get this thing started. We'll idle it. We'll run it right here for a little bit and see if we have any leakage. Okay, I'm not seeing any leakage. However, as the transmission fluid gets hot, it gets thinner, obviously, and that's when we would see it, if we're gonna see it. So, let's maybe take this thing out and hot rod with it a little bit. I do hear a little ticking sound somewhere. Right there is my choke cable, and it is being pushed against right here. So that's my shaft going forward. That thing should be above, and it's under. That's kind of a dumb thing. So there's a pin that goes through here that holds these 2 cylinders, and my choke cable goes under that, which allows it to get close. And it looks like that's why they had this zip tie here to hold it up, but why wouldn't you just take it over the top? Not quite sure. So I considered, for testing purposes, I could just leave the seat off, but if you notice, the drive shaft is right there and right there, exposed, spinning. And if that were to come loose, it could could really mess up someone's manhood, and that's something I'm not willing to risk in any way. So figured it best to put the seat on. Transmission fluid's in. And you know what? I want to get this front cover on just because it looks better. Doesn't need to be on, but it'll look better. Not that it looks great, but. Okay, much better with this cover on. It's a faded, ugly pink, but it looks better than just open. So for now, hydraulic fluid's in, transmission's back in, and we're ready to fire this thing up, take it outside, take it for a spin, bring it back in, see if there's any leakage. Runs great. Let's see if we have a leak. We are dry. That's what we wanted. Okay, so we got the transmission back in. It's not leaking. Everything's running great. You saw me tearing around out there. I wouldn't normally be that rough on it. I wanted to get that good and hot and get, you know, really put pressure on it, make sure it's not gonna leak. So now what I wanna do is, right there, I have a mower deck. I wanna put that mower deck on here and take it out front and see if it mows. So bear with me, I'll get that on. Definitely not as convenient to hook up as it is on the tractor. Can't really see that hitch up front. But let's go outside and see what this does. It mows great. Still no hydraulic leak of any kind. Dry as can be. I think we're ready to go to the next step. And that is going to be tearing it apart. And obviously the engine needs a tune-up. It does have some sheet metal that's a little bit rough. Somebody added these mud flaps. And so I'll take those off, fill in the holes before we repaint. We'll get a new seat, new headlights, new tires. The bar tires do make it ride rough, and they do tear up the yard a little bit. I'll keep those in case I want to do anything where I want a little more traction. I can do that. I want to straighten up a few things here, get rid of these ugly old weights that somebody put on the back here, and we'll just make this unit look good. If you haven't watched the previous videos on this, look right here and right here. Those are the part 1 and 2. So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. It helps the channel. And thank you.